Oh, actually, somebody asked this question, and it's something I'm interested in hearing you answer if you're willing. Can you do a little riff on low pass filtering? Owen asks, low pass filtering, how many elements in a pop mix will you allow to actually go above 9 or 10K? It's something that you said early on, and I had never thought about it before, of actually both high pass and low pass, actually taking a sound that has a full spectrum, because I'm used to like, okay, I'm going to get an acoustic guitar and I want the body to be great and I want the silky high end, but then you put it in a mix and maybe it needs to be like this to sit in a mix in a certain way. Are you doing lots of low pass filtering? How many
Yeah,
elements actually live above 9 or 10K?
not that many.
A vocal and
Um,
maybe a hi-hat?
background vocals, lead
Yeah.
vocal, hi-hat, maybe a really shiny acoustic guitar if it's like a country song or something that needs to be really pretty and jangly. Like maybe I won't add, but maybe I'll leave it up there. Maybe bring that down to like 15 or something. I don't know. I don't. It's funny. It's one of those things you don't think about. You just do it.
Yeah.
So to riff on it is difficult. But yeah, not that many things live above there. The bass definitely doesn't live above there.
Yeah.
So that's solid. Electric guitar is usually not.
Yeah, I've definitely had electric guitar sounds that have
Samples definitely not.
yeah. I've had
Drums.
electric guitars that have some fizzy high end, which is sometimes interesting, but by and large, they're getting filtered down to 8 or 9K, lots of things. I mean,
Yeah.
I've started doing that with acoustic guitars on a lot of songs, and it's interesting what happens there because I think of acoustic guitars from an engineering perspective of like, we're going to get that high end tube saturation on, and it's going to open up, and you're going to get this
Hmm.
beautiful, silky, airy high end. But then sometimes when you lop it off to 9K, it actually opens up the high end on the track in a very different way. So
Yeah.
obviously it's mix specific, but
And also
I'm
you
fascinated by that
can do
phenomenon.
yeah, you could do phase bump there too. Like you don't just filter it down with a flat. You like put a resonant peak up and
Yeah,
like listen, with good monitoring, you can tell it where that needs to peak and then like that sits it in the mix in a different way. It's like when you think of a DJ mixer with a resonant filter, it's like when they do those big moves, like yeah, you're not just filtering, you're finding the place where it resonates and like shakes the room, right? Where there's impact. So you can think about that conceptually as well.
mm,
I don't really just filter without low end. When I high pass, I don't do a bump as much on the low end, just because it's a bit more dangerous down there. But sometimes I do that too. I mean,
yeah. It
I
can
don't
be
know.
cool
This is a tough
for
one to
drum
riff
samples and
on.
things.
The riff should just consist of saying, "Try it, guys.
Yeah,
Just do
Rob
it."
asked in the chat, wait, are you saying you low pass almost everything else that much? Try it. Might be cool. I mean,
Yeah,
there's oftentimes if you have a whole bunch of things that are sitting in that have information in the 11, 12K range, and then you make it so
needs to
there's
be
only
there.
one, it might sound amazing. So yeah, we're definitely talking about trying that. It was a revelation on one of the early conversations with you how much you are doing high pass and low pass filtering and mixes, and I started trying a lot more, and it was
Yeah,
really really
it's
great.
tricky to do confidently if you don't have speakers that display that for you, though. Then you're just guessing. You
Yep,
know,
yep,
um, on the speaker setup that I have, I can determine the difference between 7K, 8K, 9K, and I can DS with EQ. I can hear the difference up there. Um, so that's a tricky thing to just say like, go do it, and here's a number. You got to listen, check it on headphones. For those of you that have bad rooms or non-trustworthy rooms,
yeah.
but I would just go
It's
do it.
yeah, I totally agree. Um,
A lot of times you'll see with an analyzer on Pro Q3, for example, that there's no only noise up there.
yeah, no, very very true.
It's just noise, and then decide if the noise is a vibe or the noise is unnecessary.
I've actually liked that too, where my Juno is very noisy, and
Uh-huh.
so oftentimes what I like to do is use if I have the Juno in there, I'll actually record the Juno with just the light hiss that happens in it, and have
Hmm.
that be a little
Have
bit of
that
the back,
separate.
have that as a separate sound, which I can mix in certain sections, while low passing almost everything else except the vocal, and then you have the vocal with this like weird chorus Juno air around it.
Oh, it's
Um,
beautiful.
it's a
Sounds
really, really
beautiful.
magical effect.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
cool.
it's a different feeling than having the air of all the other instruments in there. So
Yeah,
you get rid of
those
the air in all the other instruments and then add an artificial but very not artificial, I mean analog, but very controlled air.
sounds like great sound design to me.
Yeah, well, I knew you'd like it. That's why I said it.
No, I love that idea a lot.